Hello, welcome back to the channel. Been a while since I've done a video. I seem to say that every time, but I think it has been a while since I've done a video. And today's video is on the Bentley. Now, it's out of MOT. I bought it with 2 months MOT and we just used it, took it to a show, you know, Bentley'd about, like you do. But anyway, it's gonna have to be MOT'd now. And the first thing I've found, other than the things I told you in the other videos, like the exhaust leak, is should be able to hear that. Now, is that wheel bearings, or is this wheel not tight? Or is it maybe a ball joint or something like that? But that's what we're going to find out. So, we're going to get this wheel off and see what the issue is. And the other one is exactly the same, I believe. Let's go and have a look. Not as bad, but you can still hear it moving. It'd be great if the wheel was just a little bit loose. Not great for me driving away beforehand, but great for me not having to fix the damn thing now. And just tighten it up, but can't see that happening. I suppose you can't see that either. So anyway, let's get this wheel off. These Bentley caps are locked on with keys because they're about 150 to 200 quid for 4 good decent ones. So they are locked on. I think I've got the keys. I'm hoping I've got the keys. When I bought it, I got this bunch of keys here. So I'm hoping something on there is off these. Right then, let's pop this little thing out here. He says, does it twist out? Right, we've come against our first problem. I'm sure these just pop out. Shit. Them are supposed to stay in there using that thing like that, I believe. It's got 2 little things on it there, look. And then we're supposed to stay in there. Like that. Right, so let's try some of these mini keys. Oh, they fit in the hole. It's going to be like Crystal Maze. Or I'm a celebrity. But without snakes. Oh my luck, it'll be the only key I don't have. I found it. Oh, look at that. Look at the engineering on that thing. I say engineering, it's just a lock. But who's got a cap like that with an actual lock on it? Anyway, shut up. Let's have a look at this. It's a loose wheel. I think it is a wheel bearing. I'm not sure if these are adjustable. I've done zero research. So, we're going to have a look into this. We'll get this wheel off. What is that? That's with water. We get this wheel off anyway and see what's going on behind. Right, let's get it off. I've just bought this Milwaukee impact gun. So we'll see how good that is. Them are tight. I need a longer thing. That is now stuck on there. Right, what I've just found out is these are left-hand threads. So I've got the big gun out. That wouldn't do them, so I've now super tightened all of these nuts. So now I'm going to have to try and super loosen them. This is Bentley and Rolls Royce for you. Left-hand threads on the wheel nuts. Because I think I'm going to go undone while you're driving. So, there you go. 2 brake calipers. Just to make your life a misery. So we've got 2 brake calipers, so we can check the brake pads, and then it's definitely in this hub. You can move it without even having the wheel on there. The rubbers look to be good though, all the boots and stuff. But we'll have a quick inspection there in a second. I'll show you what's going on once I've recovered all these nuts I've dropped. Right, sit rep. Yet again, I've been doing things without you, because for some reason that's what I do. Get carried away. So what I've done is, no idea if this is the right thing to do, but I've knocked this off here, that cap, just with a little plastic mallet, and this little castellated nut here was set to this position there with a split pin through it, and you can actually move the spaces backwards and forwards behind you, and you could move it on the split pin like this so it won't tight in any way, shape or form. So what I've done is got it round to the next one, tightened it round to there, and I think that has got rid of the play, well, most of it at least. So I'm going to put the split pin back through, put the wheel back on and see what it's like. But it just had a split pin in it like that, there, through there, and opened out to the bottom. So I'm going to do that anyway. Put that through and then put the wheel back on, and we'll see what it's like once I've done that. Just so you know, everything seems to be left on thread. So we've got that split pin we're going to put back through there. Just tack it in. Like that. And then we'll fold it out. And if this has got rid of it, I mean, I've heard that these are sealed, and it still might be sealed, but it might just be the fact that it wasn't tight enough. Let's get that bent around there. One around there. Still spinners. Free. The pads, let me show you the pads. They won't fail in MLT, but we see them in there. There they are, look. There's still, I don't know, 10mm on them on both sides, and you've got the twin calipers on this as well. So I don't think that would fail in MLT. I think it's 3mm or something like that. But I think that's got rid of all our play, and if it has, that's an absolute bonus. But one thing I have found is underneath the car, let's take you for a little walk. It's sort of zoom out. Underneath the car, this joint, as you can see, there's a fair bit of leakage going on, but this joint here, can you see that? That one there, the castellated nut there, that one is also loose, quite loose. In fact, let me see if I can show you how loose. I mean, you can hear it trying to get, and if you can see that shaking about, but that one's loose as well, so we're going to tighten that up, and then I'll help with a bit of the steering. Not that it's had steering issues, but it's starting to knock a little bit going up and down curves and that. I should be doing going up and down curves in a Bentley, but that's the way it is. Here's its little hat. We'll pop him back on. There we go. We'll pop him back on. I've looked around all the boots and there doesn't seem to be any issues. What I'm going to do just before I go any further is I'm going to get a pry bar and just pry on the ones that I can see on the drop links and things like that. So I've got my pry bar and I'm just going to pry on some of the links just so we know what's going on. Like that one there, you can see that one. Just get it in there. There's no real excessive movement there, so that one should be all right. There's some of the ones, there's a drop link down there. There's nothing excessive on that. So it looks like the link underneath the car to the steering is going to have to be done. So we'll do that one. I'm going to put the wheel on now though, and let's see if this has fixed the problem. Remember, left hand thread. So to tighten, loosen. As you can see, that would normally be taking them off, but it's putting them on. And I thought Milwaukee gun was a piece of crap, but it turns out that it's not a piece of crap, and they're left hand threads. The thing I want to do after this is obviously the other side, and then I want to get the manifold off. I'm going to have a look at tightening that one that's underneath, see if we can tighten that joint so I have to replace it. And then I'm going to look at getting the manifold off. I'm going to use this one. It's longer. I'll sketch the wheels up. Should have given you a noise alert, I suppose. Alright, the moment of truth, has it gone, or am I going to have to buy a 20-ton press? It's gone. But we have still got, you can see that plane now. Now that one's gone completely, but we've got that one, which is the steering joint. I might be able to show that better now. Now I've got the wheel on now. It is that joint there. And you can just see moving about. I don't think it's anything at this end. I think it's all down there. And I think that wheel bearing is now sorted, so that's good news. We'll do the other one. But let's get onto this. Take that castellated nut undone, take the little split pin out of it, and I'm going to tighten that one up and see if we can sort. Right, I've got it up a little bit higher. Get these under the lift for a bit more stability. What I do with a car like this, because the lift is quite narrow there, I've got some big steel beams that I put along the entire length of the car just to support the whole thing, rather than just being supported on the sills in this area. I've just put this piece of wood just to chock it up, and then we put a couple of these half-ton transmission stands underneath, just to make sure it's nice and stable when I get underneath it to do things. So that's that done. Just want to say I'm super happy that I haven't got to do the bearings on the other side for definite. Hopefully not this side, and we've been able to just nip that nut up, because everything I've heard is absolute nightmare. But there's not a lot of information on it, to be honest, and my 10-ton press apparently wouldn't do it, so I'd have to buy a 20-ton press, about 150 quid. So that hopefully saved me a bit of money. We'll see what this side's like. But first I'm going to get underneath and sort out that little steering linkage. I'll see if it's can be tightened, which it hopefully can be. If not, we might have to buy something, but it's not the end of the world. So onto this wibbly wobbly here. So I'm going to get this off and tighten that up, and then put it back in and see if it's got rid of that wobble. There. Yeah. Hopefully you can see some of this. So it's another castellated nut with a pin through it. Which proved to be a nightmare normally to get out. Using the correct tool, beat the crap out of it. Let's come here. Right, hopefully you can see that we've got the right size on there. Just give it a little gunnage. My gun ain't plugged in. And there it is. That was very loose. Looks like we're in line with the castellations for the pin to go through, I think. Let's just have a rock of the wheel. That looks like that's sorted that out. We'll just double check that one in a minute, but yeah, we'll put the pin back through and that's another job done for the amount. Right, so there it is. We'll just bend the loop split pin I've put in over. And then that should have got rid of that movement. And that's another thing fixed. Josh is just doing that wheel, he's just putting it back on. It's exactly the same. We've just tightened it up, so we're super happy that I can't even speak. That's how happy I am. We're super happy that that's all that needed doing. So you can see the rust and stuff on there, so we'll give it a good blasting with some I'm going to try that stuff that you see on Facebook constantly and all over the internet. Can't think what it's called, but I want to try some of that stuff. Next thing we've got to do is get the exhaust manifold off and see why it's leaking. I'm hoping it's got a crack in it somewhere, something simple that I can weld. But yeah, we're going to have a look at that anyway and see if we can find out whether the leak is on there as well. Right, we've done the wheel bearing, but we can still feel some play, and it's this lower ball joint here. There is quite a bit of play in that, and I don't think it's a loose nut, even though I'm going to check it. I think the actual joint itself has gone. So we're going to have to look at getting that done. There's a lot of gubbins up here. A lot of gubbins. So we're going to have to see. I'm hoping I ain't got to buy a whole hub assembly and we can just get that ball joint. It might have to be pressed out maybe, I don't know. But I'd like to just be able to get that ball joint. All the rest of it I've had the pry bar on and seems to be good. So because I'm going to have to find that, order that, I think the next thing to do today is look at releasing this manifold and trying to find where it's leaking from, if it's cracked or anything like that. All this over here, I don't think it's steering fluid, I think it's oil. I think we've got a leak from around the rocker covers, which is covering the back of the engine in oil. So we're going to have to have a look at that at some point as well. But we'll clean that off and that will be an MOT fail then. It might just have an advisory for oil or something like that, but we'll get that off so we can get through the MOT without that failing. We've got a little bit of an oil leak here. Looks like it's coming from the oil filter, which is up there. So that could be coming from there. Luckily the water's all dry, there's no water leaks. Got some corrosion to the water pipes there, so we'll brush them off and paint them as well. But yeah, it's the exhaust leak that's the main issue now, other than that ball joint. And then we'll check the back wheels and get around it and give it a poke. Fuel filter's up there, so that little grey thing there, so we want to change that as well at some point. But let's move on to the manifold. Good news is he was able to adjust the bearings, and that play has gone out of the wheels by using the bearings. Bad news is the ball joint has gone on the driver's side, lower ball joint, and they are 325 quid. They are adjustable, so I'm hoping that I can get that one off, which looks like a right rigmarole. And if there's any shims left in it, adjust it. If it's the original, then the price probably been adjusted over and over again and no adjustment left. But we'll see. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you when we take the manifold off.